Hey everyone, welcome back to our second core dev call for 2025. And before we move ahead, I wanted to ask, is my voice audible and is everyone able to hear me? Yeah, you can give me a thumbs up as a reaction. Okay, okay. So it's great to see you all here again. And as usual, we'll record this call and we'll share the notes on GitHub afterwards. So please stay muted when not speaking and feel free to use the chat for questions or raise your hand if you have something else to ask. So it's been quite an exciting week with the Core Dev Summit. So we have got lots of important updates to cover today. So let's dive in with the agenda. So the first point on our agenda is Core Dev Summit outcomes. So first up, we have Ilya to share the key outcomes from last week's summit. Ilya, would you mind walking us through the main technical discussions and what they mean for our implementation work about the discussions which happened in the Dev Summit?
Sure, there isn't too much to update. What we did on the first day is to try and think on the status of P2P. The main conclusion from that discussion was that we want to couple P2P spec releases with RPC version releases to avoid shooting all the clients in the foot when they're constantly trying to figure out which P2P spec version to sync against. And then we try to figure out what would be a reasonable working plan for integrating consensus. I don't think there's too many decisions to summarize from there. Just informal is now more in sync with the client teams, and I think the effort will move forward in the upcoming months. That's mostly what happened on the first day. On the second day, we had some cool researchy discussions related to unprovable blocks. I'm also not sure this is the forum to go into great detail about them. So I guess the bottom line, couple P2P and RPC version releases and try and move forward in integrating the consensus into the clients.
Okay. So thanks for that comprehensive overview. And does anyone have any immediate questions about the summit outcomes before we move forward?
I remember also we decided that we should prioritize sequencing over peer-to-peer sync. Is that correct?
I wouldn't say sequencing. Sequencing is like block building. Nobody except Starkware should care about for now because we're waiting for decentralized validation. But yeah, we definitely want to deprioritize P2P sync and mempool sync in favor of integration with consensus.
Yes, validation. Yeah, that's the correct word.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so moving on to our next topic. Ariel, could you update us on the Blockifier integration progress, particularly interested in hearing about the RCO release status and how the transaction level state diff implementation is coming along?
Okay, so there is not much to update, but I think there will soon be a PR for the state diffs using the executor. So again, the changes for the state diffs are only relevant for the executor related flow, which are not mandatory like I initially thought. You can execute as you are doing today, but it is more convenient to use the executor, and RC1 should have state diffs available from it. Not sure about the exact timeline though. I will have more clarity next week. What else regarding RC1? There will be hopefully by RC1 some small refactor that allows getting the missing L1 gas for traces. Right now, internal calls only have L2 gas and the RPC requests all resources. So there's actually, as of today, I think a PR from Christian to the Blockifier, so you can follow the discussions on the PR. I think these are the major things in the context of the RPC and let's say more immediate changes. RC1 will hopefully also bump the native version and significantly simplify the build process. so far, building, at least for us, for the sequencer with Cairo native has been problematic due to the need to separately build in what's known as the Cairo native runtime file, which was linked to the Cairo native generated artifacts during executions. This runtime actually contained built-in related logic, but after a lot of discussions with the Cairo native team, we've decided to opt for essentially a static linking solution where this file is no longer needed. Built-in related logic is embedded into the object file created by Cairo native. Um, and yeah, that's basically it. So the upside is nicer build and much smaller contract artifacts, like 20x smaller with the native.
Mhm.
Comparing with or without this Cairo native, not comparing to CASM contract classes. I'm not sure about the relationship there. I think after the change they are smaller with native, but I'm not sure. And yeah, the downside is now things are statically linked, and we need to be careful about changing the APIs for built-ins in Cairo native if we are expecting to store Cairo native artifacts and run them with newer versions of Cairo native. So this is something we need to keep in mind. These are not interfaces that are changing regularly or essentially any time since I think the built-in itself was finalized, but we need to have more clarity on what exactly is this functionality and making sure that it's safe to upgrade the Cairo native version without. So these are the changes expected in RC1. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Okay. Thanks, Ariel. That gives us a good picture of where we stand right now. And I believe we can move on to the next point on our agenda, which is client implementation updates. So let's move to client updates. Christian, would you like to start us off with Pathfinder's progress?
Oh, yes.
I know the fee estimation implementation has been a focus area right now, I believe.
Oh, yeah, yeah. So actually, there are multiple things. One thing is that Ariel has mentioned regarding L21 gas cost calculations for these inner calls within transaction traces. We are still working on that. So there is a PR, but there need to be some changes made to that. So it's definitely not done yet. We also started working on implementing the binary search algorithm for fee estimations. And we also have started re-adding support for JSON RPC 06. So that's pretty much what we are working on regarding new Starknet version and the new JSON RPC support. Yeah, and obviously some testing is still required, especially given these transaction traces and L1 gas calculations, as there are no available canonical transaction traces from the feeder gateway or from the sequencer itself. We'll need to be very careful when validating the calculations we are making regarding L1 gas costs.
Okay. Okay. So thanks, Christian. And I believe we can now move on to Rodrigo. How's everything going on with Juno, especially around the Blockify integration?
Hi, yeah, we already started working in the Blockify integration since last week. We have a PR open and working on merging it within the reviewing process. The bug we have with the system contract was fixed. We just needed to add it to the database. And now we are dealing with re-adding 06 RPC package back. And and updating the WebSocket to the latest specs. And yeah, that's what we're dealing with right now.
Okay. So then Andrew is there in the call. I believe he's
Yeah,
if
can you hear
someone
me?
from Kesar can answer. Okay, Andrew is there. Okay.
Yeah, it's Nathan now.
Okay.
Can
Okay.
you hear me well?
So could you share the latest updates from Kesar and like particularly interested in hearing about the P2P implementation progress?
Yeah. We've been in the Starknet Core Dev call this week. We updated on our P2P status. We are now able to sync and propagate blocks through the P2P network, which still needs to fix many things. But we hope to have. We are now aligned with the other teams, and we hope to pass the Nethermind P2P tests really soon to ensure compatibility with other clients. Regarding the Starknet stack, regarding Madara itself, we are stabilizing the code base to onboard new partnerships. And regarding Madara exploration, we are currently still in the works with P2P, almost ready with Kero Native for 0.13.4. We started working with informal system on consensus because at some point we would like to, at some point really soon, probably next month, we would like to deploy our own network. It will be a network for developers and agents. It will be we will be basically it will be basically Madara on steroids. It will be a staging version for implementing everything onto the core. So we hope to have all those implemented soon, so we can have something similar to a decentralized network, probably similar to what Starknet is planning doing for the next version, leveraging P2P and consensus. Yeah.
Okay, that's wonderful. And now for our technical discussions, Ariel and Shahak, given the summit discussions, could you lead us through the current gas estimation challenges and P2P sync status?
Anything about P2P sync, I'll probably leave to others. But regarding gas
Gas
estimation,
estimation challenge? Yes.
yeah, I don't have any news that weren't discussed here before.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if there are any particular questions, I'd love to answer. But in general, same problem we talked about last time. The introduction of redeposits sort of messes up the naive attempt to run with infinite gas, see the end gas, and return the difference. As the difference may not be enough to cover the lowest point throughout the execution. Yeah, so same problem we're trying to tackle.
Because like these would be like crucial. That is the reason I'm asking you again, because these are some crucial points which will be needed for implementation work. So just that if we don't miss anything, so that is the thing. So okay, so next, Leo, could you give us a quick overview of of O13.4 integration schedule and what to expect in the coming weeks?
Yeah, so here again, not that much to update. Right now, I don't remember if there is a formal date for testnet, but it should be towards mid-February and then a month later on mainnet. So I believe this was already discussed in the relevant forums, and the client teams are aware. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And do we have anyone present from informal systems? Okay, Romain is present. So do we have any update from informal systems?
Sure. So we're planning on running a little DevNet to test integration between Malachite and Papyrus in the coming weeks. And so right now I'm working on making sure we use the same protobufs definitions to ensure we can interoperate properly. And then I will think with my time to put the DevNet in place.
Okay, so I
And
think
yeah,
we are
also we're
all.
waiting on the full nodes team to reach out if they have any questions on Malachite integrations, because yeah, we're happy to help with that, of course.
Okay, okay. So thanks for the update, and I believe we have almost finished what was there on the agenda. So does anyone have any other topic they would like to raise, because we still have 15 minutes left? So I believe there's no one. So okay, perfect. So thank you everyone for joining in today's call. Our next call will be on February 13th, same time, and we'll share the recording and notes on GitHub as usual. So have a great day, everyone.
Thanks. Bye.